YouTube. All right, we are gonna do a little bit of cooking today. I've got my helper here. She didn't want a name. I wanted to call her Betty Baker, but she was like, no, don't call me anything. What did you want to say? So what's your introduction? What are we making?
Today we'll be making some chocolate mint truffles and some peanut butter truffles.
All right, we're making easy truffles. They aren't healthy. They're not keto, but they taste good and they are really easy to make. So we're gonna get busy on that. And I know last video, kitchen was really clean. It's not bad today, but hey, it's a couple days before Christmas. Give us a break. It happens. All right, so these are about as easy as it gets.
So our ingredients we need is some cream cheese.
Cream cheese, a brick of cream cheese, 8 ounces.
2 of them.
16 ounces of Nutter Butter cookies.
For our peanut butter ones and for our chocolate mint, some Mint Oreos.
So for the chocolate mint ones, we're going to use
Mint Oreos.
Mint Oreos. And this package is a family size, so it's bigger than 16 ounces. So we'll make sure to not use all of them so that it doesn't get too dried out.
Don't forget, you can always use a little taste test.
All right. And then the last thing is after we whip these up, we're gonna melt some dark chocolate and we're gonna dip dark chocolate on the truffle balls. When we're done, it'll be like a delicious cookie candy. And we'll probably put a little bit of peanut butter drizzle on the peanut butter one so we can tell the two of them apart. It doesn't get any easier than this. You're talking 2 ingredients. I've heard of rolling these in cocoa, sea salt, powdered sugar. I like to cover them in chocolate myself and make like a bonbon kind of thing. They taste fantastic. People love them. It was pretty funny. I took my son Mad Dog, you've seen him before, to the grocery store. And I said, I need to get my secret ingredient for my world famous truffles. And he says, your secret ingredient for cookies is cookies. I'm like, yeah, busted. Yeah. But anyway, they're delicious. People love them. All right, we're going to get cracking. We're going to start these. No, just chill. Just chill. That's why we run a multi-camera operation over here. All right, so first up, we're going to put cream cheese and cookies in the food processor. We're going to use a Ninja blender here and hope that chops everything up. So the idea is we're gonna grind it up to like a cookie dough kind of consistency. We're gonna make little balls, scoop them, roll them in our hands, and we're gonna stick them in the fridge to cool for a little bit. One tip, you wanna make sure your cream cheese is room temperature before you get started. So we're gonna put them in the freezer to cool them a little bit after we make them so that when we melt our chocolate to put on top, that it's not like melting the balls and that they're just like falling apart. That's why we're gonna freeze them first. So we're gonna switch to the GoPro camera and we're gonna start grinding these things up.
So we're going to be making the chocolate mint ones first. So we're just going to open up our package.
All right, may I suggest if we're doing the chocolate mint ones first, there's more than 16 ounces in there. Yep. Our recipe calls for 16 ounces.
So how many Oreos would that be?
Well, you could do the math or you could just put the packages side by side. And by putting the packages side by side, you can get a feel for how many 16 ounces looks like compared to the Oreos.
I'm gonna do a little taste test on these chocolate mint Oreos.
Oh, a taste test?
Yeah.
What, you want to make sure that they taste good?
Mm-hmm. And I can perfectly say that these are amazing.
Alright, so I think if we leave out like 6 Oreos, I think that's probably alright. We could always add more in, but you can't take them out. So let's go ahead and start dumping some Oreos in there.
So maybe we should add the sticks first, so then we can just dump them in.
Okay, we can try that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right, that probably puts it down to 16 ounces. All right, go ahead.
Let's just
put them in.
One already. Let's get our last one in. A lot of Oreos. all of them. Okay, as he gets opened up that cream cheese, we are almost done. And we're done. Time to add our cream cheese.
All right, go get a butter knife. All right, go ahead, and we're gonna.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, let's put that in.
This in.
Oop.
So that's very thick. Okay.
All right, now let's try to scrape this off.
Alright, strip all this off.
Okay, scrape some more.
Alright,
All right, that's good.
okay.
Yep, put it in there, and then push all that down with your hand or the knife or something.
I'll use my knife. I don't want to get my hand covered. You know what? I'm going to use my hand so I can cover. So, oh, don't forget, you always have to wash your hands before you start. So,
Yeah, wash your hands before you start's a good idea.
I'm pushing down. Ow, I don't want to hurt myself on these blades.
Yeah, those blades are really sharp.
So just simply push it down. That should be good.
All right, so we got a little bit of a issue here. I think maybe we needed to let our cream cheese get up to room temperature a little bit more. Why don't you put that other container of cream cheese on top of the stove since the oven's preheating for our other recipe?
Okay. On the stove. We don't want to keep it on there for too long or else it could also melt.
All right.
If we don't want that, now do we? This looks like we mixed the cream from normal Oreos into this. Okay. We're gonna do a.
All right, go ahead and let's here, I'll scrape the sides down. You gotta wash your hands if you're gonna help.
Okay. Where's the soap? Oh, there it is. So what you were doing with the blender was to make it a nice like dough consistency, which is what we have here. Blender just made the job.
I think that looks pretty good and it smells like heaven. All right, then we're gonna need to put this in the freezer to let it cool for a little while.
Jelly, pop it back.
So we're gonna actually scrape all this into a bowl. Yeah, just put it back in the blender for now. All right, so.
Now we wash your hands again.
All right, we're gonna need to scrape all this into a bowl to put it into the freezer to let it get firmer so that we're able to make everybody's got dirt. All right, let's go ahead and put that in the freezer and let it firm up. I'll wash the blend. All right, the mint ones, they needed to firm up, so we put them in a bowl. It's the dough is inside the freezer. Firm it up. We're gonna move on and start our batter for the peanut butter ones next. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with that. So the dough is firmed up in the freezer for a little bit. It's real nice and firm. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna put a cookie sheet, use a edged cookie sheet this time, and we're gonna put parchment paper on it. We're gonna scoop balls, maybe like quarter size balls, maybe a little bit bigger than that. Some are slightly bigger than a quarter. And we're gonna put them on parchment paper on the cookie sheet. Then we're gonna melt chocolate. We're gonna like, dip them in chocolate and put them back on the parchment paper to firm up. And we're gonna add a little peanut butter swirl on top so that we know which ones are the peanut butter ones and which ones are the mint chocolate ones. So that's our next step. Okay, we got all the peanut butter balls rolled up. We're going to put a bunch of dark chocolate chips in a glass bowl. We're going to microwave it on a low heat. You don't want to get a real high heat. You don't want to scorch the chocolate when you're trying to melt it. Then we're going to dip these in chocolate, put them back on the parchment paper, let them firm up, And finally add a little bit of a peanut butter drizzle on them to make them presentable and make it so they're separate from the mint chocolate ones. So that's our next step that we're going to start working on here. So the peanut butter ones were kind of getting loose after we rolled them and made balls. We decided to put them back in the freezer before we dip them in the melted chocolate. I'm afraid that the heat would make them kind of fall apart. So we're going to let them firm up quite a bit in the freezer. In the meantime, we're going to make the balls now out of the other one, the mint chocolate mix, and we'll take it from there. All right, so now we got the mint chocolate truffles. They've been sitting in the freezer to get nice and cold so we can dip them in the chocolate. Now we melted a bunch of dark chocolate chips and we're dipping them in the chocolate. We're going to put them on parchment paper to set up. So go ahead. You're going to have to use your finger or another fork or something.
Hold on, you want this twisted like this so the chocolate does, to make sure all the chocolate gets on it, like this.
Well, that's okay. Just plop it down. They're not works of art. We're not a professional bakery. And then girls, keep in mind, if your chocolate starts to get firm, that we're going to have to stick it back in the microwave.
These balls are going to leave us. Hold on, let's be able to reach the chocolate.
There you go. Just take turns like an assembly line. I like it.
Oh no, don't fall. Don't fall. The other person got just from in.
Okay, we have switched over to the peanut butter ones. We are
These ones are easier.
dipping these in the melted chocolate, putting them on parchment paper so they can firm up. And then after these ones are done, we're going to add a little bit of a peanut butter drizzle on them just to know, just to give them a little color and to keep them separate. Even though they're not getting totally covered in chocolate, some of these still have it exposed. It's obvious that these are the peanut butter ones, but this is a learning process. No big deal.
I smell cream cheese or something.
Yoink. Come on, pop. Let's go put it in your bed.
All right, that's a wrap. We made the truffles. We got the mint Oreo chocolate ones. We got the peanut butter, nutter butter ones. Covered them in chocolate. Rolled them around. Got them nice and swirled up with some melted peanut butter. I'm gonna stick these in the refrigerator to settle up a little bit. Firm up the peanut butter, firm up the chocolate, and put them in some decorative containers. Take them to the family party tomorrow. It's a pretty darn easy recipe. Pretty easy recipe. You can't beat 2 ingredients, 3 if you decide to cover it with chocolate. But again, you can always roll it with cocoa powder or powdered sugar, salt, whatever you want to do instead if you want to make it a little bit simpler and a little less decadent. Awfully easy. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Give us a like, comment, subscribe. Thanks a lot. Have a good holiday. Merry Christmas. Bye.